I'm Stephanie Medlock, and I was enslaved to lust. Lust is kind of an ambiguous term, so I think my definition of it would be an exaggerated discontentment. So it's seeking to satisfy your romantic or sexual desires with your own power or your own efforts instead of God's efforts and His power. So I think it manifests itself in a few different ways. It can look like always having a boyfriend no matter what, that's your security in life, or obsessing over a guy, or masturbation, or pornography, or fantasies, daydreams, real dreams, whatever. What it looked like in my life is pretty personal, so I'm not going to share details, but it did affect everything in my life. So usually lust is portrayed as a male issue, which gave me a lot of shame and a lot of self-hatred. So I thought I can never tell anyone about this because they'll hate me and they'll abandon me or they'll reject me or think I'm really gross. So I thought I am disgusting every time I have a lustful thought or a lustful action. I also just felt like I was always guilty and always had to make up for it. I thought that this area of sex and attraction and romance were things that were irresistible and out of my control, and so I thought I was helpless. I thought that I could never get out of it. I thought that I would always be stuck in this place of guilt, and so I tried to make up for it by reading my Bible extra long or having an extra spiritual conversation with someone just so that God would like me again a little bit or something to make up for it. The first time I felt freedom from this was when I shared about it with one of my dearest friends in high school, and she just listened, and she still loves me today, and that showed me a small bit of what God's grace and God's faithfulness can look like, because she would always follow up with how I was doing and hold me accountable and speak truth to me. And I've met a lot of really wonderful people here at Grace College too, who have shown grace and love and mercy to me by asking me questions and teaching me truth about what lust really is and that it's a sin, and also who I really am in Christ. And so I found that truth-telling can be one of the most freeing things. So if I believe that Christ really died to rescue me from the present evil age, then lust has no power over me because He has already conquered it all. And if I really believe that Christ chose me before the beginning of the world to love me and care for me, then I know that He really cherishes me and has what's best for me in mind. And if I really believe that if Christ died because He gave Himself for me because He loves me that much, then I know that His righteousness counts to me on my behalf, which conquers lust. It doesn't really matter because He has already forgiven that sin and will count His righteousness to me instead of that sin. And if I really believe that He created sex and attraction and romance for things that are for His purposes and for His good, then I know that He is the master of them and that I don't have any control over that area, and I can trust Him to have what's best for me in mind. So I continue to live in this freedom by reminding myself of those truths and finding people in my life who can really show me those truths, and I ask God to show me who I really am every day. And He's been infinitely greater than I could have imagined or dreamed, because there's no way that if you would have asked me 5 years ago to share about this with anyone, I would have told you no way. And here I am sharing about it for Chapel, which is a miracle. And I just feel really freed from this sin because I know that it's a sin, and I know that God has saved me from it, and I am really thankful that He has. So it is for freedom that Christ has set me free.